Hi Steve, sorry I can't be there with you tonight. I feel like a guest on the TV show This Is Your Life, just waiting for Eamon Andrews to appear. I hope you're having a good night and keeping that rabble under some sort of control. I would like to say a few words. First, it's 22 years since you and I met. Can't believe how quick that time has gone. Although you had done your homework by asking your mate at university, Lawrence Mayer, my tutor, to see if I was going to pass or not. And once confirmed, you booked my first few weeks of patients with John Mitchell's. Old patients. You at least broke me in gradually by giving me 10 minutes per patient. After a couple of weeks, that was shortened to 5 minutes, and we would both regularly see between 50 and 60 patients a day, which was unbelievable. I could not have chosen a better practice or principle to start my career in dentistry. I have said to you and many people that I've learned so much from you since qualifying. There are many instances of the SW technique of dentistry. Splints. I have never come across the term splint in the university. All of a sudden I'm gluing all sorts of teeth together with orthodontic arch wires or bits of paper clips, pins placed left, right, centre, wherever. But it worked, to an extent. Temporary crowns and bridges. At Liverpool I was taught the director crowns and the cellulose matrix formers. At the SW school it was red carding wax, to get a rough idea, Algent over in Pretarp, and then liberal amounts of quick temp, and lo and behold a bridge or a crown was formed. My particular favourite was a peri-involved tooth that gets its root chopped off and pinned mesially and distally to adjacent teeth. It looks good and patients love it. Dentures. Steve introduced me to these little one-way valves that fitted bilaterally onto the palate of a full upper. He said they were great for increasing retention for people with minimal ridges. Great, I thought. No more problems with upper dentures that keep falling down. Oh no. They're only about 5mm in diameter and were secured in place with cold cure acrylic, which went everywhere and bunged up the valve. It's a great idea, but I never got them to work, and I tried loads. I think they're quite expensive too. Multitasking. I have never met anyone who multitasks quite like Steve. We had a leak in, which is now Ruth surgery, years ago, and Steve noticed some water dripping from the ceiling around his fluorescent light. What does he do? He had a patient in the chair, he gave them injection. He rushes up to Ruth's room, gets a circular saw which just happens to be lying around, and removes about 4 square feet of floorboards. He rushes back down, cuts the cavity, lines it, disappears again upstairs, isolates the leak, fixes it, rushes down again, and calmly places the amalgam and finishes off with the patient. A similar thing happened with Jeff and myself in Jeff's surgery when Steve was away. So what do? We closed the practice, cancelled the patients for the rest of the day, and fixed it. Not quite the same as Steve's. Maintenance. Again, the number of unseen hours that Steve puts in is amazing. If you leave on Friday afternoon with something broken, as if by magic, the maintenance fairy comes over the weekend and everything's working. Computer problems are another example of Steve's relentless dedication to practice, involving almost all of some weekends spent fixing hubs, ports, USBs, dongles. Handpiece is another one. Give Steve a dodgy slow piece, next minute comes back as new. You'll have to set up a masterclass maintenance session for myself, Jeff and Andrew, Steve. I think we need it. Time. Steve has always had time for everyone and everything. I've asked Steve on many occasions about all sorts of non-dental subjects, including cars, computers, do-it-yourself. He always has an answer and it's always right. A classic example was when I went aground coming back into Fleetwood Marina. The boat was left high and dry for three or so weeks. So I was a bit worried about people breaking in and stealing the electronic equipment. So that night, Steve, and I think it was Paul, came down, we took all the valuable bits off, and it involved a few trips across the mud flats, which were very muddy. Bless Steve. Enthusiasm. Steve has a great passion about his work. He's an excellent dentist and an attitude to patient care that is second to none. Steve doesn't have X number of patients, he has X number of friends. That was very evident by all the thank you cards he received once he sent out his retirement letter. Again, on the open day in January, you could see and sense the real gratitude of patients who walked through the door. I think Steve could open up his own bar with the amount of drink he got over those couple of weeks. The last example happened only a couple of weeks ago. Icky was taking out an impacted wisdom tooth. She couldn't do it, so she asked me. 20 minutes later, after a bit of buccal bone removal, a lot of sweat, I couldn't do it. So what do? I phoned Steve for advice. The advice he offered was, I'll be there in 15 minutes. And sure enough, a bit more drilling, and Steve got it out. Finally, to sum up, Steve, you're a great guy, dentist, friend. and I hope you enjoy the night. Cheers.